Yo, it's Nug from SLATE back with an NBA slate breakdown for Tuesday, February the 3rd. We'll be doing a game by game deep dive at our best bet for all 10 games. You can get all our plays, cheat sheets, and more every day posted in our VIP Discord. Use code YT10 for $9.99 first month in VIP. Link in bio. A lot of action today. Let's get into the slate. Before jumping into the slate, I wanted to recap yesterday's best bets, which went 1 and 3, moving our season total to 37 and 27. First game up is going to be the Denver Nuggets traveling to Detroit to play the Pistons. Pistons sitting at a 4-point favorite in a 228.5 point total. Nuggets will be without Tamar Bates, Aaron Gordon, and Cameron Johnson, with Christian Braun listed as questionable, while Detroit has Tolo Smith and Caris LeVert both listed as questionable. My best bet for this game is going to be a Sore Thompson over 5.5 rebounds. Good matchup against Denver, who go up to 6 most rebounds to the position. He's also hit this number in 7 of his last 10. Next game up are the Utah Jazz traveling to Indiana to play the Pacers. Indiana sitting at a 4-point favorite in a 237.5 point total. I'm not going to have a best bet for this game. Next game is going to be the New York Knicks traveling to Washington to play the Wizards. Knicks sitting at a 14-point favorite in a 228.5 point total. Knicks will be without Miles McBride and Mitchell Robinson, with Kevin McCullough and Pacome Dadiet listed as questionable, while the Wizards will be without Trae Young, Cam Whitmore, Tristan Vukovic, and Trey Johnson, with Anthony Gill listed as questionable. My best bet in this game is going to be Josh Hart over 27.5 points, rebounds, assists. Gets a really good matchup in all three aspects against Washington, and gives up the third most points to the position, fourth most rebounds, and sixth most assists. He also hit this number in 3 of his last 5. Next game up are the Los Angeles Lakers traveling to Brooklyn to play the Nets. Lakers sitting at an 8.5 point favorite and a 222.5 point total. Lakers will be without a Deuterio, with Austin Reeves and Bronny James both listed as questionable, while the Nets will be without Haywood Highsmith, with Noah Clowney and Zaire Williams listed as probable. My best bet in this game is going to be Michael Porter Jr. over 24.5 points. Great matchup against the Lakers, who give up the most points to the position. He's also hit this number in 5 of his last 10 and 3 of his last 5. Next game is the Atlanta Hawks traveling to Miami to play the Heat. Heat sitting at a 4.5 point favorite and a 239.5 point total. Hawks will be without Infelidante, Dupe Reith, Onyeka Okongwu, with Kristaps Porzingis listed as questionable, while the Heat will be without Terry Rozier and Tyler Hero, with Nikolai Jovic and Norman Powell both listed as questionable. My best bet for this game is going to be Jalen Johnson over 11.5 rebounds. Really good matchup against Miami, go up the 5th most rebounds to the position. Hit this number in 5 of his last 10 as well as 4 of his last 5. Next game up are the Boston Celtics traveling to Dallas to play the Mavericks. Celtics sitting at an 8-point favorite and a 222.5 point total. Celtics will be without Jason Tatum, while the Mavericks will be without Kyrie Irving, Dante Exum, Derek Lively, Anthony Davis, and PJ Washington, with Brandon Williams listed as questionable. My best bet for this game is going to be Peyton Pritchard over 5.5 assists. Good matchup against Dallas, give up the 4th most assists to the position. He's also hit this number in 5 of his last 10. Next game up are the Chicago Bulls traveling to Milwaukee to play the Bucks. Bulls sitting at a 3-point favorite and a 225.5 point total. Bulls will be without Noah, Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Josh Giddey, and Dario Saric, with Kevin Huerter, Jalen Smith, and Julian Phillips listed as questionable, while the Bucks will be without Taurean Prince, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Gary Harris, and Kevin Porter Jr. My best bet for this game is going to be Kyle Kuzma over 6.5 rebounds. Finds himself in a good matchup against Chicago, with the most rebounds to the position. So he'll hit this number in 6 of his last 10 and 4 of his last 5 without Giannis. Next game is the Orlando Magic traveling to Oklahoma City to play the Thunder. Thunder sitting at a 7.5 point favorite and a 218.5 point total. Magic will be without Colin Castleton and Franz Wagner, while the Thunder will be without Nikolai Topic, Thomas Sorber, Jalen Williams, and AJ Mitchell, with Alex Caruso listed as doubtful, and SGA, Isaiah Hartenstein, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren listed as questionable. My best bet in this game is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 31.5 points. Good matchup against Orlando, give up the 8th most points to the position. Hits number in 5 of his last 10. Next game up are the Philadelphia 76ers traveling to Golden State to play the Warriors. Warriors sitting at a 1.5 point favorite and a 217.5 point total. Sixers will be without Paul George, while the Warriors will be without Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, Seth Curry, and Steph Curry, with Moses Moody listed as probable. My best bet in this game is going to be Tyrese Maxey over 29.5 points. Gets a great matchup against Golden State. It goes up the second most points to the position. I also kind of expect Joel Embiid to sit, with it being the second night of a back-to-back. The final game is going to be the Phoenix Suns traveling to Portland to play the Trailblazers. Phoenix sitting at a 4.5 point favorite and a 217.5 point total. Suns will be without Devin Booker, with Jalen Green listed as questionable, while the Trailblazers will be without Damian Lillard, Matisse Thybulle, and Chris Murray, with Scoot Henderson and Denny Advia listed as doubtful and Drew Holiday listed as questionable. My best bet for this game is going to be Toumani Camara over 11.5 points. Gets himself a good matchup against Phoenix, gives up the 8th most points to the position. He's also hit this number in 6 of his last 10 as well as 4 of his last 5. Before finishing up the video, I wanted to give a recap of my best bets for this February 3rd slate. Starting off with Asor Thompson over 5.5 rebounds, minus 110. Josh Hart over 27.5 points, rebounds, assists, minus 105. Michael Porter Jr. over 24.5 points, minus 105. Jalen Johnson over 11.5 rebounds, plus 105. Peyton Pritchard over 5.5 assists, plus 125. Kyle Kuzma over 6.5 rebounds, plus 120. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 31.5 points, minus 110. Tyrese Maxey over 29.5 points, minus 105. And lastly, Toumani Camara over 11.5 points, plus 100. If you're interested in getting any more of our plays, feel free to join us over in our VIP Discord. Use code YT10 for $10 first month.